first Morris Minor we've seen. There we go, that was a Morris Minor. Right, I've started filming now, so I might as well make a video, because I've got a few bits to say. Right, I've got a new shirt, I hope you like it. We're in a taxi, and if this video doesn't make much sense, it's just because I just smacked my head really hard on a tree, and Mrs. Jeff's now giving me a bit of a neck rub because I've like really done my head in, almost knocked myself out. But that means this video might be a bit of a ramble, but I'm going to flick the camera around because we're in a taxi going further south, and I want to talk about the Eden project. Right, here we are, look. We're in a little Suzuki Alto, and Mrs. Jeff just said to me, oh, did you see the peacocks on the roof of that building? And then she said, oh no, you didn't, because you were on your phone. I was on my phone, and I was reading an article about the fact that the Eden project is having to get rid of 80 staff, and I think, well, I was kind of hoping that we weren't going to be stuck behind this truck the whole time, because then I could show you some interesting sights like these buses. I think the problem that you've got with the Eden project is connected to the peacocks that we just saw, and it's a problem that I've always found with the Eden project. My biggest issue with the Eden project, and I'll maybe just explain what it is. If you're not familiar with the Eden project, it's a number of very large domes, biomes if you will, in Cornwall, actually in the middle of Cornwall. If I get any closer, this lorry will be in it. In the middle of Cornwall. Which lane's he in? He can't decide. The Eden project is a couple of biomes in the middle of Cornwall, nowhere near Newquay, just outside St Austell, that no one ever really goes to, unless you're Tony Goodman. He probably goes to St Austell, and it's basically like a rainforest reserve essentially, and they have gigs there in the summer, or they used to, I don't know if they still do now. It's extremely expensive to get in, and then once you're there everything is very expensive. A couple of issues. One, once you've been there you don't really need to go there again. Like, I went there to see a band. In fact, I went there to see Brandon Flowers probably 15 years ago, and I saw everything I needed to see at the Eden project. It's just some plants and they're really hot. But my biggest issue with the Eden project is the lack of crocodiles. It's basically the perfect environment for a crocodile zoo, and yet you're in this amazing rainforest environment, no crocodiles, no lizards, no birds. What they need to do is they need to convert the Eden project into, you know, like the domes in Jurassic Park where there's crazy animals flying around and there's the risk of being attacked and killed by a dinosaur. That would massively up the visitor numbers to the Eden project, and also you'd need less staff. Maybe get some staff just to do cleanup, and probably some lawyers. But here it goes. I really feel like that would help the prospects of the Eden project. But at the moment, as it stands, the problem with the Eden project is, like I said, it's expensive, and once you've been, there's really no need to go again, because it's just really hot and sweaty. And if you're in Cornwall and the weather's good, you don't really want to be big and hot and sweaty and walking around the rainforest. And if you're in Cornwall and the weather's bad, everybody's probably there. It's probably a good place to be when Cornwall's like 2 degrees, because you can all go warm up in what is essentially a bunch of very large greenhouses. But as you'll see when you get there, sadly, no crocodiles. So that's it. Yeah, so tourism. This is on the back of my Lister video. So Lister have decided they're not going to do any development. They're not going to spend money on developing a new car because of essentially net zero. And now, because the economy is tanking so badly, visitor attractions are starting to close. This is not the first visitor attraction that has closed in Cornwall. We lost Dairyland, was it? And I noticed that all of the stuff from Dairyland, which was a popular kids attraction in Cornwall, and you know how much you spend at these kids attractions, it's amazing that they're going bust. But all the stuff from Dairyland, like all the model cows and all the model stuff, is going to auction. So if you want to buy yourself a full-size fiberglass cow, I might put a bid in just for a laugh actually. Should we do that? Should we buy a full-size cow? And oh, my neck really hurts. Do what with it? I don't think there's anything I wouldn't do with a full-size fiberglass cow. The opportunities really are endless. Cornwall basically has priced itself, considering it's a place that's completely based on tourism, Cornwall has managed to price itself out of tourism. I did manage to find the other day when we were in Dubai, we were staying at a premium 5-star resort in Dubai. Granted, we were getting it half price because there was some building work going on, but we did 3 or 4 nights at a premium 5-star resort in Dubai for less money. Whee, there's cars everywhere. Less money than it would have cost us to do 4 nights at a hotel in Newquay. And if we had been at a hotel in Newquay, well, there's a storm going on and it's 2 degrees. So we would have had to go to the Eden Project, which we couldn't have afforded to do. So we probably would have looked to take the kids to Dairyland, which is closed. So there you go. That's all right. The same truck still in front of us. That is a slightly concussed video from Jeff Buys Cars, filmed from a taxi in, where are we? Sri Lanka. I nearly said Costa Rica then, but that's just the concussion setting in. I've got a new hat, I've got a new shirt, and I don't feel fantastic, if I'm honest. It was a proper good smack on the head. I bent down to put my flip-flops on, got up, and somebody had put a tree there, like a proper tree. And then all the staff came running over and bought me some ice. And all the burnt skin on the top of my head peeled off, and the kids looked absolutely terrified. Didn't you kids? They can't hear me because they've got their headphones on, because they're not interested in culture. Policeman. Right, I think that might be the end of the video, unless we see any interesting cars here. Oh, don't know what that is. Not sure we get those in the UK. Suzuki Wagon-R, we get a lot of those. Suzuki Alto, that's what we're in right now actually, which is the world's smallest taxi. Another lorry, there was a Land Rover behind that, but you didn't get to see it because it was blocked by the lorry. Lots of tuk-tuks. Tuk-tuks obviously are the future. Oh, I've got a video coming up about that. I saw yesterday a press release that some company is trying to make an electric tuk-tuk, which is essentially the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So yeah, more good videos coming up soon on the Jeff Buys Cars channel. There's an auction review going out later this evening as well, which is, yeah, I would watch that to the end because that's a good video. And obviously my Lister one this morning, if you haven't watched that, I thought that was an alright video as well. So I do feel like the content has gotten a bit better since we left Dubai, which is what people seem to be saying in the comments. There's lots to see, but we're doing a lot less filming in and around Sri Lanka because it's so damn hot and so damn noisy. It's really hard to film when you're out and about because of the level of noise on the street. Like I said, basically one beep means I'm coming through, one beep also means you're coming through, and then we have to beep to let them know that we're coming through, and then someone else has to beep to let them know that we know that they're coming through. So it's just constant noise. You've got these old-fashioned buses that we haven't really seen any yet. Here we go, going for the overtake manoeuvre. Gonna get nice and close up on the truck before we go around it. Here's one coming, look, this old-fashioned bus. They are A-Shock Leyland or something. I'm gonna have to do a bit of research as to what they actually are, but there's basically hundreds and hundreds of these old 50s buses. There must be 50s, and they fart diesel fumes all over the place. But the diesel fumes are not the problem in Sri Lanka. The problem in Sri Lanka, like many of these countries, is rubbish just being everywhere. Poor management of rubbish is a much bigger problem than emissions, because emissions blow around from place to place, but rubbish doesn't. It just stays, and then eventually, like that, look, there you go, it ends up in the waterways, and that means it ends up in your fish, and that's in your food supply. So microplastics and rubbish are the real problem that nobody ever really wants to talk about, because there's no money in dealing with microplastics and rubbish, but there is lots of money in dealing with clean air, because you can't see clean air, so it's really easy to convince people that what you're doing is worthwhile, and you can charge them for it because nobody can actually test it. Whereas if they can go out in the street and go, oh look, there used to be rubbish all over the place and now there's not, that's actually quantifiable. And in 2025, quantifiable things are not worth money. The things that generate stuff for the economy are not quantifiable. Let's finish with a Honda Civic with a spoiler. Thank you very much for watching this video. Slightly concussed video from Jeff Buys Cars.